Hello everybody, today back in another video. Oh boy, Novak Djokovic. He wins his 97th title in his career. He wins his 40th Master 1000 title in his career. Which makes that he wins more Master 1000 titles than Roger Federer and Pistol Pete Sampras together. Sampras has won 11 Master 1000 titles. Roger Federer has won 28 Master 1000 titles, which makes that to 39 together. Novak Djokovic now has won more than those two legends alone, with 40 Master 1000 titles, with his win in the Paris Masters. And he also won the Paris Masters for the 7th time after a straight sets victory against Dimitrov 6-4, 6-3. According to me, Novak's best performance the entire week. We all know that Novak has been struggling a lot the entire week with a stomach virus, and he has played three matches that has been over 3 hours, something like that. The Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all those 3 sets victories that Novak got in Paris was matches that got over 3 hours. They took almost 9 hours, maybe even over 9 hours. And the first match that he played against Echeverry, he won in straight sets. But this one against Dimitrov, especially with this kind of a Dimitrov who's playing his best tennis of his life, at least the best tennis since 2017, 6 years ago, and Novak dispatched him in straight sets. Novak, he pushed that great mode button. He was not beast mode, but he was for sure great mode. He was great mode. He lands a pretty good first serve scene, 67% first serve scene. He won 81% behind his first serve. He won 69% behind his second serve. He does 15 winners. He doesn't do many winners in the match. He didn't need to, because he was making Grigor Dimitrov doing a lot of unforced errors. But Djokovic also closed the unforced error store. He does only 4 unforced errors the entire match. That is very, very little. So Djokovic had great depth. He was really effective behind his first serve. He won, like I said, he won 81% of the points behind his first serve. And only the first set, he barely lost any points in the first set behind his first serve. He won 88% of the points behind his first serve in the first set. And all in all, in the match, he finished the match with winning all in all 81% behind his first serve. So it was a really great serving performance for Novak Djokovic in this match. Does 6 aces, 1 double fault. He doesn't get his serve broken one single time. Grigor Dimitrov saw only 1 breakpoint opportunity in Novak's serve, which was in the second set. Novak, of course, saved that. The clutch beast that he is, the clutch monster, like the clutch machine that Novak Djokovic is. He saved that only breakpoint opportunity that Grigor had in the second set. And Novak himself, he creates 4 breakpoint opportunities, converting 3 of them. He creates only 1 breakpoint opportunity in the first set, Djokovic. He's super effective, super clutch. That was all he needs in the first set. He takes that opportunity in the first set, and that was only 1 break in the first set. That was all Novak needed, and he won that first set 6-4. In the second, Novak creates 3 breakpoint opportunities in the second set, and he converts in 2 of them, and broke Grigor's serve in the second set 2 times, and wins that second set 6-3. Novak, he attacked the net 5 times, and won all of those net approaches. So he was 100% successful at the net. Yeah, he didn't approach the net crazy many times. He didn't need to, because he was dominating Grigor Dimitrov pretty good from the baseline. And you know what I've said, my tennis fans all around the world. The player who's better from the baseline And that is the player who will win 9 times out of 10 times tennis matches. That's it. Tennis matches wins from a baseline. Tennis matches doesn't win at the net. Tennis matches doesn't win you just because you have a huge serve. If that was the case, Karlovic, Isner, Query, they all would have Grand Slam titles, but neither of them have Grand Slam titles. They have not even played Grand Slam finals. So you win tennis matches from the baseline, and Djokovic was super consistent from the baseline. He had unbelievable depth, a great precision. So Grigor was not in his best shape in this final, according to me, especially in the first set where he did a lot of errors. In the first set, Grigor Dimitrov does 19 unforced errors. His forehand was not on fire in the first set. He started to play a little better. He started to do less unforced errors in the second set, but in the first set, Grigor was doing a lot of unforced errors. Like I said, 19. And he needs to do much better than that. And if you look at Grigor's stats, he does 5 aces, 2 double faults. He lands too little first serve hit, 51%. That will never make you win the tennis match against Djokovic. Never. To have a chance against Djokovic, you need to be over 60%. You need to have good looks on the third shot. You know, my friends, tennis is all about who, not all, but a huge indicator, a big key in tennis is who will win, who will do damage on the third, fifth, and seventh shots. Those so-called diamond shots of tennis. And to be able to do good finishes on the third shot, you need to land a lot of first serve hit, which Grigor didn't do. He lands only 51% first serve hit. That will not make his life easy on a tennis court, especially not against Djokovic, and that's why Grigor won only 71% behind his first serve. He was landing too little first serve in. And if you look at Grigor's winning points behind second serve, when I saw Djokovic in this final, it was the Djokovic of old days. Because, like I said yesterday, Djokovic in the quarterfinal match, Holger Rune wins 62% behind his second serve. That is crazy high, winning points behind second serve against the greatest serve returner of all time. 62% Holger Rune. And Rublev in the semi-final, he wins 57% behind his second serve against Novak Djokovic. 57% of the second serve points won. Rublev wins in the semi-final. And now, in the final, it was back in business. Business as always for Novak Djokovic. Grigor Dimitrov won only 42% of the points behind his second serve. It was a much better serve returning match for Novak Djokovic. He returned much better in this final than he did the entire week. You can see the proof. Grigor wins only 42% of behind his second serve. 42%. This is how we are used to see Novak Djokovic attack his opponent's second serve, hit his second serve returns with precision, depth, power, you name it. And that's why Grigor won only 42% behind his second serve. And like I said, Grigor didn't break Novak's serve one single time. He created only one break punch opportunity, and that was the second set, which he didn't convert. So that was the match. All in all, Novak won 66 points in the entire match. Grigor Dimitrov won 50 points in the entire match. So Djokovic wins 16 more points than Grigor Dimitrov. That was the match. Not so much to say. I thought Novak will win, but I thought he will do it in 3 sets, to be quite honest. Because I was feeling that Grigor is playing his best tennis in 6 years' time, and Novak was coming. He was coming in this final with 3 straight consecutive 3 sets matches, which took him over 9 hours to go through these 3 matches that he won in 3 sets. And not to forget, he has not been physically good with virus that he has had here in Paris. So I thought that Grigor Dimitrov will have a huge chance here and at least take one set, which he didn't do even that. He lost in straights. So what can we say about Djokovic, man? What can we say about Djokovic? Because I'm reading the comments. I'm reading the comments by tennis fans all around the world. Oh, baby, yeah, I'm doing. Oh, yes, I'm doing. And some of you are calling me, this is the light version of Djokovic. Yeah, we all know the channel that loves Novak Djokovic. I have watched these videos and I agree with some of his videos. I don't agree with everything, but with 70% of his videos I agree. I really do. He comes up with facts. He is not coming up with lies. Some things that he's coming up, I don't agree. Like that Nadal is avoiding Djokovic with purpose. Nadal is coming up with injuries when the off clay and is coming with injury excuses just to avoid Djokovic and things like that. But many other things he's right. But still, to call me a light version of Djokovic, that is not true. That is not true. And you know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Some of you that watches my channel, and in general in the world when it comes to tennis, well, I know I'm not stupid. I followed this beautiful sport since I was 8 years old, which now is over 30 years that I've followed this sport. I know that majority of tennis people around the world, they are crazy in love in Federer and Nadal. I know this for fact. I know it. I know that the greatest tennis player of all time, Djokovic, who is now, not now, he has been the greatest tennis player of all time since he broke that Grand Slam record. It is the wrong guy who got the GOAT status. It was the wrong guy. Not according to me, according to the majority of tennis people around the world. I know for a fact that people around the world, tennis people, they were holding their fingers crossed that it will be Federer or Nadal who will win the Grand Slam race. They were hoping that Federer or Nadal who will go on and become GOAT and not a player from Serbia. Djokovic, he kind of crashed the party. He became the party crasher. And that's why people call me a light version of Djokovic. And that's why people are very negative to the Djokovic channel. I know some of the topics that he picks up, they are not true. I know that. But many of the topics, they are true. They are true. No matter if you guys realize it or not, I know that the truth hurts. So, when I come up here and talk about Djokovic, who should I talk about? Tell me. Give me the names. Who should I talk about? Rublev? Tsitsipas? Denis Shapovalov? Where is he? I don't know, where is the dude? We have not seen him on the tour for several months. Felix Aliassime? Daniil Medvedev? Alexander Zverev? Who should we talk about? Shouldn't we talk about the player who is winning the most? And who's that player? Who is that player? Tell me. Is it Tsitsipas? Is it Zverev? Is it Medvedev? Is it Felix Aliassime? Berrettini? Who is that player? Oh yeah, it is a guy from Serbia. Yeah, it is him who is winning the most. And you are telling me I'm a light version of Djokovic? I'm a light version of Djokovic? Just because I do a lot of videos about Djokovic and I talk good about him and I give him a lot of superlative, I give him a lot of credit. He deserves it. How in the hell should I not do it? He is freaking deserving it. He has won 3 Grand Slam titles this year as 36, 35 years old. He has won 2 Master 1000 titles this year as 36 years old, because when he won Cincinnati he was 36, and now when he's winning Paris Master 1000 here in France, he's 36. He 6 titles in all this year, as many as Carlos Alcaraz, despite playing much less tournaments than Carlos Alcaraz. He was most likely, it is still not 100% certain, but he needs only one victory in Turin. Him winning one match or Carlos losing one. But it is more or less 99% certain that Djokovic will end the year as the world number one and extend his record to 8 years in ending the year as the world number one. He's rewriting history all over again, all the time. He's only rewriting history almost every single time he gets up to a court. Every single time. He's coming back after 6 weeks not playing competitive tennis, and when he comes back, bang, he goes and wins the tournaments. And not to forget, he does that with virus in his body. He himself said that this has been one of the most challenging weeks in my career. So I value this Masters 1000 title very, very much because of the way how I fought, how I never gave up, and I know which kind of struggles I have had this week with this virus. And he goes and wins it. He was on the brink of losing against Greek Sport in the second match. He was on the brink of losing against Holger Rune in the quarterfinals. He was on the brink of losing against Andre Rublev in the semifinals. And he said himself about Andre Rublev, I have never faced that kind of a good Andre Rublev. He said that himself. A match that took over 3 hours to finish. 3 hours and 2 minutes to be quite exactly. And he still won it. He defeats 3 opponents that took over 3 hours. Thursday, 3 hours, maybe at least close to 3 hours. Friday took over 3 hours, I believe. And Saturday, for sure, against Rublev, it was over 3 hours. And he does all of this being not 100% healthy with his stomach. And you guys are still telling me, oh, this has become a light version of a Djokovic channel. Just because you are Federal fangirls, that is not my fault. I cannot help you because you are Federal fangirls. I cannot do anything about that. I'm here to talk about tennis, and I talk about players who are the most successful. And who has been the most successful tennis player this year, 2023? Who has been that? Who has been that? Do I need to mention his name? Do I do it? Do I need it? Is it necessary to mention his name? You bloody know it. So why call me? This has become a light version of a Djokovic channel. Another thing that I want to talk about, this I have wanted to talk about a long time, but I have not had time. I've told you guys because I'm extremely busy. And this I wanted to talk about many times. How can now tennis people around the world feel ashamed of themselves? I'm pissed off. Now I'm going to be even more mad. How can now they feel ashamed of themselves? Seriously, my tennis friends all around the world. They're booing a legend, an icon, a tennis machine like Djokovic. He's getting booed almost every single time in tennis matches. This is unbelievable. This is ridiculous. This is insane, honestly. Just because the grown guy won the GOAT race, should tennis people that comes and watches it, if you hate the guy that much, why the hell do you go and watch his matches? Stay home, for God's sakes. Don't give money to him. Not to him, but don't give money to the tennis organizations. They boo him just because they wish him to lose so badly. I remember last year in the French Open quarterfinal. Man, this I have never talked about. I'm not a Djokovic fan, even though some of you seem to believe that. I am a truthful fan. I am a fan of the truth. That kind of fan I am. Remember that French Open quarterfinal last year between Djokovic and Nadal? The latest meeting that they faced each other. You remember, last year quarterfinal. A match that Nadal won in 4 sets. I remember this very, very precise. When they stepped in the court, and the guy, the presentation, the players, and when they stepped in the court, when Nadal stepped in, he got a lot of applause, cheering on him, blah 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 blah, things like that, which is totally fine. He's a back then 13 French Open champion, because he didn't won that tournament yet. We all know that has changed now. Now he's a 14 times French Open champion. So nothing wrong with that, cheering on Nadal because he's huge champion at Roland Garros. But when Djokovic stepped in the court, they were booing him. They were, I don't want to swear, that is not my style. They were freaking booing him before a one ball was played. I couldn't believe they were booing a legend like that. I couldn't believe they were booing an icon like that. I couldn't believe they were booing a tennis machine like that. Instead of people around the world, both those who watches his matches live and those who watches his matches on TV, appreciating the moment, being proud of the moment, that they are seeing and watching a player of this magnitude, a player that they will never watch more in their lifetime. We will never see a player like Djokovic in our lifetimes anymore. I am more or less convinced about that. Instead of those guys that watches him both live and on TV, appreciating that kind of a legend, and being happy that, you know what, this is a historical moment. We should be proud. We should embrace this moment, because we will never see a guy like this ever again. And just be impressed from his tennis skills that he has shown over 15 years' time. Instead of doing that, what do the tennis crowds do? They boo him. They freaking boo him before one point is played. You can go watch it. You can go watch that match. When they step into the court, they were booing Djokovic, the French crowd. I couldn't believe that. It is one thing having favorites, no problem. Federer was my favorite when he was playing. I've told this many times. Because of his tennis style, he has that ultra first strike tennis, beautiful tennis. He plays attacking tennis, which I love to watch. But that doesn't mean I should not appreciate a beast like Djokovic. That doesn't mean I should hate a player like Djokovic. That doesn't mean I will close my eyes for a tennis beast, tennis terminator like Djokovic. That doesn't mean just because I appreciate Federer's tennis style more. I would never, ever in my life boo a tennis player that is I would never boo a tennis player at all, but especially not a tennis player of Novak's magnitude, who has shown such unbelievable tennis skills for so long time, and who is the greatest tennis player of all time by far. Yeah, Nadal fans, he's the greatest tennis player of all time by far. Not by far from Federer, but by far from Nadal as well. His versatility that he has showed all over the world, his all-time court skills that he has showed all over the world, Nadal doesn't come even close. What Nadal comes close with is with major titles. He has 2 less than Grand Slam titles than Novak Djokovic, at least at the current moment. And with Master 1000 titles, he has 4 less than Novak Djokovic with Master 1000 titles at the current moment. But other than that, and we all know, I don't want to take anything away from Nadal, but let's face it, if Nadal was a normal player on clay, because Nadal is not normal on clay, Nadal is not normal. Just say Nadal would have won 10 French Opens, which is also an unbelievable achievement to do. He would have had even less Grand Slams than Federer. He would have had 18 Grand Slam titles. Not even 20. But Nadal's achievements on clay, which I'm not taking those away, because clay court tennis is also tennis. It is not ice hockey. But my point is that the reason why Nadal is so close to Djokovic in Grand Slam titles is because he is not normal on clay. He's not normal on clay. That is the reason. So, Djokovic is by far better than Federer. Djokovic is also by far better than Nadal. Look at the big trophies. You all know, guys, big titles. Big titles includes when you win Grand Slams, Masters, gold medal, and ATP Tour finals. Djokovic has 70 now. He, for God's sakes, has 70. Federer has 54. Djokovic has 16 more big titles than Federer. Nadal has 59. Djokovic has 11 more big titles than Nadal. So, how come these two players, Nadal and Federer, come to Novak Djokovic close? How? No, they are not close. They are good. Nadal and Federer, they are also one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Two of the greatest tennis players of all time, both Nadal and Federer. But Djokovic, he stands alone. He is alone in being the greatest, undisputed greatest tennis player of all time. And he still is not finished. He still is not finished, for God's sakes. He still has left much more, not much more, but he still has left great things, tennis, in him. Which is not the case with Federer, because he's already retired. And Nadal, he's almost retired. Almost. If not, I don't think Nadal has more Grand Slam titles in him. And if he somehow has more, it is only one. It is only one, and we all know where that is. And that is at French Open. On the other three Grand Slam tournaments, Nadal has nothing more to do there. He will not win any of those more. Australian Open, Wimbledon, or US Open. He doesn't stand a chance in those three others. But when it comes to French Open, you can never rule out a clay court goat like Nadal. Never. So my point is, tennis people, they should feel ashamed. Look what they did to Djokovic here in Paris. For God's sakes, he was getting booed almost in every match. In every match. Just because you are licking Nadal's and Federer's asses, that doesn't mean you should boo Djokovic. That doesn't mean you should boo him. Stop it. And who is saying that Djokovic is the villain here? Me personally, I don't think that Federer or Nadal are better human beings than Djokovic. I don't know them personally, but I don't think that Nadal or Federer are better human beings than Djokovic. I don't think so. Look what Nadal did 1 month ago. Seriously, I did a video about that when he said that some can be frustrated if they don't win the Grand Slam race. And another thing that I didn't speak about Nadal, to be quite honest, when he finished that interview, do you know what he said? Me, I'm satisfied, but others can be frustrated if they don't win the Grand Slam race. Novak is one of them. He wanted that badly. He wanted it that badly, and that's maybe why he achieved it. Do you know that is an insult? And that's maybe why he achieved it. That is a huge insult. Because he means, with those words, that doesn't sound good. Because according to Nadal, he achieved the Grand Slam record because he wanted more than me. He just fought it. He fought more than me. He was more crazy in the Grand Slam record more than me. He didn't say he achieved it because of his tennis skills, because of his attributes, because of his versatility, because of his all-time court skills. He didn't say that. He said that he maybe achieved it because of he wanted more than me. Something like that. If you re-watch the interview, you will know what I mean. But that didn't sound good. So, just because Djokovic gets frustrated on court, he screams, he's a human being. Is he perfect? No, absolutely not. He has flaws, but do you think Nadal is perfect? No, hell no. Do you think Federer is perfect? No, hell no. Didn't you see what Djokovic did after the final against Dimitrov? Didn't you see? You think Federer or Nadal would have done that? Honestly, you think those two would have done that? Absolutely not. When Grigor was super sad after losing a big final, I can understand him. He did his best week in 6 years' time and defeated very good players on the way to the final, like Hurkacz, a good informed player who won a Master 1000 title a couple of weeks ago in Shanghai. Defeated Tsitsipas, whom he has a really bad record. Defeated Daniil Medvedev. We all know what kind of a baseline machine Daniil Medvedev can be. So he was coming to this final with great hopes to also defeat Djokovic, but Djokovic, he pushed that great mode button and didn't give Grigor Dimitrov a chance. So he was sad after the final. Djokovic, he stops his interview and goes and hugs the guy. He hugs the guy. I am just taking one example of all things that he does good on court. Does he do bad things on court? Yeah, he does. But he does a lot of great things on court as well. A lot of great things. And people are hating guys like this. They are loving Nadal, they are loving Federer. Just because the wrong guy became the GOAT, according to this maniac tennis fans around the world, that doesn't mean you should hate, you should boo him. Appreciate him instead. Cherish the moment, embrace the moment, be thankful to this moment that you have lived and you have had this kind of an icon, this kind of a legend in your lifetime, watching him create history. Because, like I said earlier in the video, we will not have in our lifetime a player like Novak Djokovic again. We will not. So this really gets me pissed off. Pissed off. I cannot believe that he gets so many times booed in tennis matches. I cannot believe. Just imagine if Nadal or Federer would have had Novak's records. Oh my God! Oh dear God! Just imagine if Federer, the lover boy of tennis, if Nadal, the lover boy of tennis, if those two, one of those two, would have had Novak's records. Oh my God. I just cannot imagine how many ass licking that would have been towards those two. I just can't imagine. And just because a player that comes from a small country like Serbia becomes and crashes the party and knocks out both of those players that come from rich countries like Switzerland and Spain, just because Djokovic comes from a country that is not rich and is not famous and etc., they boo him. He's getting booed more or less all over the world. And I will not forget that last year French Open quarterfinal when he got booed before one ball was played. How can this tennis? Do you know why these players go and watches his matches? Why are you doing that? Why are you giving money to see him play tennis and pay money and to boo him? But I know the answer. They want to see him fail. But unfortunately for you, he wins more than he fails. So he just makes these human beings that goes and watches his matches life miserable. Because they go and pay big amount of money just to see Djokovic lose a lot of tennis matches. But that is not happening. He loses, of course, he's a human being, but he's winning much more than he's losing. And I really feel feel that these human beings that are doing these kind of things, they should really be ashamed of themselves. They should really be ashamed of themselves. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.